everyone. Welcome back to Tea Tuesday. My name is Lynn Wilson, and you are in my home, and I hope you feel comfortable enough to go grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, whatever you feel like, even hot chocolate, and just let's sit and have a little chat about living life simply. So here I am. I've got my little trusty coffee cup here. I'm glad you're joining me today. I want to talk about living life simply. There are people that live life very extravagantly. There are people that live life without living life, I guess you'd say. Let me put my mug down before I spill that or drop that. And I think the last week-ish, last 10 days, I've been really thinking about different things that we're doing. And a few videos ago, I talked about spring cleaning. And I had so many people say to me, it's too early. How can you think about that? A lot of, I would say, I had a lot of good feedback, but I had quite a bit of negative. And I was kind of surprised at that. And, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I was kind of surprised that it wasn't meant to be this, you must spring clean. It was just talking about what I was doing. But even since then, I've become more aware of how much more I want to do. And the reason I said people were asking me, why did I start so early? And this would have been the end of February, middle to end of February. Well, spring is, March 21st, I think is the first day of spring. And I want to be able to go outside and get my garden's beds cleaned out and paint some of my outdoor furniture. And we just got a new grill, but it's a fire pit / grill. I had seen it on Amy Marion, and she was able to cook our hamburgers and our hot dogs on it. And then they could have a barbecue, or they can have a little, I don't want to say campfire, but family get together and sit around. And I thought, I want to get that. It was on sale. It was like a third of the price. It's still in the box over there in my dining room because it's been too cold to put out. But I wanted to be able to have the time to set all that up and enjoy that. Because for me, it seems like spring, we wait forever for it to come, and then it disappears and we're into summer. And by the summertime, it's hot in New Jersey, and I don't feel like doing outdoor stuff. I just want to enjoy being outdoors, but not doing all the prepping and the painting and all that. And I've just really decided through my spring cleaning to simplify everything that I'm doing. It's funny, my husband and I, even when we were younger, used to joke, we're not getting old, right? We're not getting old, right? And my grandmother-in-law did not want to wear her glasses or her hearing aids because people would think she's old. And when she was saying this, she was old. So I would say, 80 and above is old enough to say that you've now reached elderly age. How about we say it like that? And my husband and I have always joked, nothing wrong with getting old, but it was just a way of us kind of fooling around. You chit-chat and you say, are we getting old? And I said to my husband, for the last 2 years, life has, for all of us, changed. For many of us, life slowed down drastically. My 2019, I was on full speed ahead, worked 40 hours a week, out 7 nights a week, doing multiple things on multiple days. Each day was layered. Then 2020 came and it was unplugged. We went dead stop, doing nothing. Nothing was open. And my dad was very ill at that time. And so we started just basically focusing on our home and taking care of my dad and visiting with them. And then 2021 came, life picked up just a tad, but not too much, still at a decent pace. And my dad was progressively getting worse to the point which many of you know, he passed away in August. And it was after that it was kind of like, okay, we started to see the pace pick up. Life started to change, somewhat normal. Whatever you want to classify as normal came back. And I said to my husband, are we getting old? Because all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't do what I used to do. And I said to him the other night, we were talking, I said, you know what? I did get older, and that's okay. But I don't think it's so much that I just got older. Things take a little bit longer to do. I get tired out easily. But I think for 2 years, I was chilled. I was relaxed. Life was a lot simpler. We made more home cooked meals. We didn't go out as much. We didn't visit as many people. We weren't involved in as many activities. Now, I'm not saying any of that is wrong or any of that is bad at all. But for me, for somebody that lived a super, super fast paced life, constantly out, constantly doing, to have almost forced, my hand was forced. I had no control. It wasn't like I said, I'm taking the next 2 years off. Basically, I had no choice. And in that time, my hand was forced to slow down. I did slow down. And I found some of that I really liked. I enjoy being home at night. I was never home at night. And we used to joke, like, when's the last time we sat home and watched a movie? Because we were never home. So we have been redesigning our life to live more simply. For us. Now, you might still look at, things that I do and go, oh, I could never keep up that pace. I have people all the time. I post a lot on my personal Facebook page. I don't post as much, actually, as I used to. I've kept that simple. But if you look back at my years past, I did a lot of things all the time. My days off were layered upon layered, and I'm trying to slow that down. So what am I doing to simplify my life? Well, one is meals. And you could see in the beginning of the video, I made 2 meals this past week with the foods that I got from my Instacart and my menu planning that we talked about. And I made my standard sausage casserole or sausage pie, whatever you want to call it. I do have a video on that. I can link that below. That is the most delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner that you can make. It's just so good. If you want to do it as a dinner, you could add some vegetables to it. If you want to do it as a breakfast, you could add some grits to it or some scrambled eggs. You could do the same for lunch. Just eat it as is. I like it because it doesn't make a huge amount. It feeds the 3 of us. And then it gives us like another 2 breakfasts out of it. So it's perfect. Then I also did some plain spaghetti and meat sauce. Like, there's nothing wrong with plain pasta. Pasta is cheap. With all the prices that are going up, pasta is still cheap. I know people watch their carbs and all of that. We enjoy our pasta. We're going to continue to eat pasta. It's a cheap and frugal meal. You do not have to add meat to it. You could just do red sauce or a white sauce. You could do olive oil and some herbs. I've done that, just plain olive oil and a little Italian seasoning. But pasta is cheap. And on certain nights, it's nice to have a big bowl of spaghetti, get that carb in you. It's satisfying. It makes you feel good. And it's a simple meal that just fills your soul and your spirit. I did some roasted broccoli on the side. You could do a nice salad. You could keep it simple as you want. You could just do the pasta and sauce. And I'm making, tomorrow night, I'm going to be making a homemade hamburger helper. Nothing fancy, using stuff that's in the pantry and the stockpile. And I had some chopped meat in the freezer, so I'm going to whip that together. And I said to my husband, I haven't made homemade bread in a long time. So I'm going to take out my bread machine. I used to make homemade bread where I'd knead it and let it rise and all of that. I don't have time for it. And to be honest with you, I don't have patience. Yeast breads make me nervous. You got to, they have to rise and punch them down. And I don't have patience for all that. That's just me. Kudos to you if you do. But I love my bread machine. As a matter of fact, I used to have 2 bread machines because I would make that much on the regular with fruit breads and white bread and so on and so forth. So I'm going to pull out my bread machine tomorrow, make a loaf of homemade bread, very simple. And I'm also going to make some hamburger helper, homemade, very simple. So simple meals, we have tried lots of fancy things and whatnot. And my husband and my son want simple. So I said, we can do that. I'm simplifying my paperwork. We still homeschool until my son's a little bit older for special needs, and I have to keep records of that for various reasons. And I am diligent at keeping records. The paperwork was getting a little overwhelming, and I thought, you know what? I need to find a way to simplify it. I came up with a new system, and we are going to simplify the paperwork. our home office, I am simplifying that. And then we now need to have business paperwork between what I do on YouTube and some of the other things that I'm starting to work on. So we need to simplify that. I'm even simplifying my wardrobe. I'm going through things as I wear them out, or I get tired of them, or, you know, they've got stains on them that you just can't get out. Getting rid of that. And I'm simplifying my wardrobe in terms of color. I'm trying to stick with black, white, and gray as my baseline. I only have black pants. I have a lot of gray and black jackets and black, white, and gray shirts. And then I can accessorize them, keeping it simple that way. I still have, if you watched What's in My Bag video, probably from a year ago, and I can link that below, I had a lug wallet. I still am using the same one. I have used that, I want to say 5 years now. I've never changed. I love it. It's simple. It is effective. I know a couple of people have contacted me about what bag that was. They wanted to get it. One viewer I know for a fact got it, loves it. And I've simplified that, and a tote bag. I know these are things that I'm doing, but every aspect of my life, I'm simplifying how many shoes I have. And even my stockpile, I'm simplifying my stockpile. And I'm just saying that because, you know, that is the buzz thing right now. If you haven't started a stockpile, you should start a stockpile. And we always say it's one can or one item at a time. And I am going through and picking out my favorite things that I stockpile, that I know I use all the time. And that's what I'm going to consistently stockpile. Now, I have other things in there that I bought at random, or things that were given to me at random. They're in there. I'm not going to get rid of them unless I don't think I'll use them, and then I can pass them along. But I want to even simplify that. I am just tired of life being somewhat complicated, and it doesn't need to be. I don't know. How about you? Have you found that over the past 2 years, since life has changed so much, that are you maybe going the other direction? Maybe your life was simple, and now you want to beef it up, and you want to start doing more and making, doing things a little bit more extravagantly. And that's great too. Maybe that's where you're at in life. For me, simplification works. And I think too, for me, because I have a special needs household, and I also take care of my mom, and so I kind of run two households in a sense. The less complicated it can be, the better it is for me, because then when I do have the time, I can really enjoy what I'm doing. We are going through our house, going through everything. Do we need this furniture? Not now. I love things. As you can tell, I have decor. If you've seen any other areas of my home, it's heavily decorated. I like that. But what you see is what I have. I don't have a ton of things stashed away. Going through my crafts, emptying out craft stuff. There's a lot of things. Again, I was given a lot of things. I'll have a friend move out of state and give me their craft supplies. I have a ton of planner stuff because people have given me things. I had 2 friends that moved out of state, gave me all their planner stuff because they wanted to go a different direction. So what I've done is I have different planners for different purposes. I have things organized the way I like it. And if I have an extra of something, I pass that along and I bless somebody else with that. And I'm just enjoying the thrill of simplification. It's wearing me out. I'm getting tired and somewhat overwhelmed because when you start to simplify, you realize either you had a system that was too complicated, you have too much stuff, or whatever the case might be. But I know in the end, to simplify my life, I'm going to enjoy life that much more. I'd be curious, how many of you feel that after the last 2 years, you want to simplify, or do you want to go a little bit more extravagant? If you are simplifying, I'd be curious, what areas of your life are you simplifying? Is it only 1 or 2? We are doing the whole gamut. Everything from our food, to our stockpile, to our paperwork, to our hobbies, to our furniture, to home decor, to craft items, to every hobby thing, to our shoes, to my jewelry, you name it, we're doing it. I would love to hear from you. I hope you are having a great day today, and we will catch you all on the next video.